Good evening, Eagles family. This is On the Road to Victory Live. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's about 5 after 9. Anybody tuning in on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. You can hit the subscribe button at the bottom. Thank you. Everyone else, thanks for tuning in, guys. I made a little video earlier. I was up pretty early today, ready for Doug Peterson's press conference. And we were given a few things. We talked about that earlier today. He talked about feeling confident that Jason Peters will be, doing well at right guard. As, we talk about bringing him back to provide depth. We like the move, He's at right guard. If he struggles, Matt Pryor can come in. If Dillard struggles, I don't think that's going to happen. But, hey, we have options now. So that's, one of the things we talked about. Talked about Alshon Jeffrey. I mean, he was a little vague, but he said that he was doing extremely well. He said that he felt good about the situation. So who knows, though, with this damn team, because, they felt great about Deshaun Jackson every single week last year. Made me want to punch myself in the face. So, that's one of the questions that was asked today by one of the reporters. They were asking him, how the injured players were doing. Obviously, we let go of Deshaun Hall, but brought him back today. We talked about that last night. Being an option, bring him back on the PUP list. That's where he ends up. So now with the roster having to be to 80, we're going to have to let two more guys go. So the other day we let go of Gibson and Marcus Green. That was expected. You talk about Deshaun Hall. That was one of them. Huggins was another one. He just got claimed by the Texans. So we went back to the Texans. Tremont Smith, the cornerback. That was one of the guys that we thought, was going to come in and compete. But because of the 80-man roster, we didn't think that he really stood a chance. So, it is what it is. Sorry, I was talking to a buddy about coming on. I'm going to do a 53-man roster tonight. Thought we'd talk about some other stuff. If you guys want to throw any questions or comments my way, please feel free. But we're finally getting closer and closer, baby. Tomorrow. I woke up so pumped today, and I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow. Cannot wait. Anything that we get, I will give to you guys. Now, they weren't answering anything, Doug Peterson, that is. He was not going to answer anything about, Corona. None of the coaches will. That's just something that until the test, whatever, let's just hope none of the guys have it. We saw what happened with baseball today. Dear Lord. I just hope that they're doing the whole bubble thing. And Doug Peterson said that, the NovaCare complex was their bubble. They were doing things safe. So let's hope that, that they're doing things right and nobody gets it. But you got to hope that every single team does that. That's why you see no preseason. You're seeing the guys drop down to 80. But we talked about Peters on the flip side. I did say something about Dillard. Doug Peterson talked about him, and he was pretty excited about Andre Dillard, and that's very exciting to hear. Now, obviously, he's going to say good things about his players, but, he was pretty high on him, and it's something that I think people are sleeping on. He said he had a good summer from what, he's been able to do. I think people are, just getting a little carried away with some of the narratives that they read throughout the summer, So I think we'll be good at left tackle. Let's just hope Peters, is the guy that pans out at right guard. But he's excited about both. So let's see what happens. We're going to get a little taste. Tim, thanks for tuning in, my brother. How do I like my cheesesteak? Without, man. Obviously with whiz, but without onion. I'm not a big fan. I don't mind it. But if I can prefer, I'm not going to be a weirdo and go out of my way to not get it. But I do like peppers. But, yeah. No doubt, Tim. Thanks for tuning in, man. I haven't had, I was talking about Jim's cheesesteaks. It used to be my favorite back in the day. And people are like, no, you can't go there now. It's John's. And there's so many other names that people are saying. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to do a tour when this damn thing's over because I just want an awesome cheesesteak. So we might have to do a little, well, I'm not trying to take from like Barstool or some shit like that, but I just want to eat some cheesesteaks and we can talk about it or we can't. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, that's what happened today. But I talked a little bit earlier about this past Friday on my show on A2D Radio. We talked about the 53-man roster. We talked about, some of, you got to take everything with a grain of salt, right? So this is just really something to get by in the time. And tomorrow we're going to be looking at some things. So we're just pretty much figuring out what we see from things. And I've been seeing everybody throwing out 53-man roster projections now. And it was a good time on Friday. So if you can, head on over to A2D Radio and check out that last episode. But I figured we could have ourselves a little chat about it. So don't have any kind of partner in crime here. But if you guys want to chime in with anything, you go right ahead. If not, I'll just keep going. You guys know how I roll. But, we're going to start with the quarterbacks here. Give me 1 second, though. I'm trying to be, important Adam Schefter, like on my phone while I'm doing my videos. Like, hey, you're going to dent to dent. No breaking news for you. I'm sorry. Nothing too important there. But anyways, that's right, brother. Tim, I love cheesesteak more than anything. So no doubt we might have to do that. Anyway, let's get this bad boy. I think you guys all know that. That's if they stay healthy. So we added a new medical staff. We changed the coaching. We changed so many things, not just the players. We talked about all these things. So let's talk about these players. Now, it's going to be hard. It was very hard to look at this roster and be like, oh, yeah, well, I can definitely decide, because they definitely can't decide at this moment. There's so many battles going on, and you're not even seeing anything yet. So kind of sucks. So let's get this bad boy on the road here. We're going to start her off, obviously, with the quarterbacks, and I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Carson Wentz, Nate Sudfeld, and Jalen Hurts. Now, clearly, the Jalen Hurts pick. We could question it all we want, but he's a backup quarterback now for the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't know if he's number 2, number 3, but he's going to get a chance to show it in camp. I don't really see him being the backup just yet. I hope we don't have to find out. So, yeah, there's that. But, those are the 3. You'll see Kyle Lauletta probably on the practice squad. You're going to see up to about 16 players on the practice squad. So, why not have Kyle Lauletta, the guy that already knows the system, on there? You never know what's going to happen. So you're going to have to be taking precautions with these things. I think the quarterbacks, it was pretty self-explanatory of who those guys are going to be. But then you look at the running backs. This one was definitely a challenge for me. I want to see this battle. I was so excited for preseason to see these running backs duke it out, but not going to see that now. So we're going to have to rely on training camp. We know who our starter is, Miles Sanders. We know that this committee probably going to keep like 4, maybe 5. I don't know, but I doubt it. But if we're looking at 4 here, which is what I am assuming here, I don't know. I like Mike Warren. It's obviously take everything I say with a grain of salt here. But from what I saw on tape and what he was able to do, he not only can run the ball, he's a tough kid. He's like 5'9", 5'10", depends where you look. But he's a little bowling ball, about 220. And he can actually catch the ball. And that's big in this offense. So I think Mike Warren could definitely beat out Holyfield. Corey Clement, somebody that they brought back on a very cheap deal, around $800,000. So I don't think that they're going to let him go. I see him making the team. He's one of those guys that they love. So we'll see about that. But, yeah, Mike Warren, that's a guy that I think will win the 4th running back job. But, like I said, that's going to be such a tough position to figure out. I don't know. We'll see from there. But then we'll go to wide receiver. If you see up there at the top corner, I have Alshon Jeffrey starting the PUP list. This is something that we have talked about for months and months and months. Is he going to start off on the PUP list? Is it going to give another young guy the opportunity to land himself a job? And I think that is what could happen because, like I said earlier, Doug was very vague earlier. Oh, yeah, it's great. Going extremely well with Alshon Jeffrey. Yeah, I'm sure it is. He's running. I don't know if he'll be ready, and we don't want to re-injure. And then he's out till, for 9 weeks on IR. He's taking up space. You don't want that stuff. So start him off on the pup list. Let a guy like John Hightower get a spot, and I think you're good to go, because then it makes you feel more comfortable keeping 6 spots, with a guy like Greg Ward making it. It was tough, though, because I like Quez Watkins, but I think a lot of these guys are going to hit the practice squad. Someone like Quez Watkins, hopefully no one will nab him, but I don't think you're giving up on J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. You're not giving – Jalen Rigger is going to be awesome, so I can't wait for that. Marquise Goodwin, unless he gets, hurt or something, I think he makes the team. And Greg Ward was a guy I struggled with here because I really loved what he did last year. I thought he was going to beat out Matt Collins. Took till the end of the year for him to finally get on the squad because of injuries and all that fun stuff. But, I don't know if he makes the team. Maybe Quez Watkins makes it over him. Maybe Greg Ward goes to the practice squad, but I'm not so sure. But right now, I like John Hightower. Kid's 6'2", runs like a 4.4, 4.3. He's fast as hell. So I'm pumped about that. Hopefully he can, run some damn routes and catch the ball, but we'll see. And I just pretty much went with 6 because I feel we're going to go with 6 receivers, and Alshon's just going to be starting on the pup. That's something that I've been harping on for months, and I just think that the closer we got, that was going to be the reality. And now it's like, what's going on? He's not going to be part of this team during this training camp and stuff, like actually, taking we'll find out tomorrow, but I don't think they're going to be doing all that much. But, we'll definitely find out. But I'm not banking on him, starting the season off. So I think he starts on the pup. Tight end, this is an interesting one, again, because, we could definitely keep 2 with the new and who knows if they change it, but with the new rules for the practice squad, you can bring up 2 guys for the active roster on game day, make it 55-man roster, and then you have 48 active on game day, one of those linemen. But you know how we like to do with tight ends, and we did it last year, even when we were dealing with injuries, which was wild, but keeping 2 tight ends. I think we go with 3 here. I like Josh Perkins a lot. I like the Noah Tagai kid. That kid is, athletic, and he seems like a good story, but I think he'll end up on the practice squad. I think Josh Perkins fits this offense, and, he can definitely fill in if someone gets hurt. He's shown that he's versatile. So I like him. I think that we could definitely keep 3 here, but it could be 2. You never know. But I went with 3 here, and that's what I'm rolling with. And then with the offensive line, let's see here. I can find it. This is all like baby writing to me, looking at I can't even see which one's which. Offensive line, I got us keeping 9. We talked about the new rules. Okay, we're going to be able to get a guy from the practice squad, bring him up. This one I definitely struggled with. I had Nate Irving on here first. I had him on there last year. I like the kid because he can play center. Now, I think he's going to go to the practice squad. Hopefully no one grabs him from us, but I think he ends up in this scenario here. I just went with him going to the practice squad. I had Jordan Mailata, not giving up on him just yet. So I have Jordan Mailata making the team again, giving us that tackle depth. I know that, we have Pryor, Peters can move out, Prince Tego Nogo, Jack Driscoll can provide guard depth. So it might be Nate Irving over Jordan Mailata here. I really wanted to put Irving on here, but he's one of those guys that, I could see being brought up every week in that scenario that I just talked about. So, Brian, my man, nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in, brother. I need football too. We all do. I'm really hoping that they don't mess up like baseball is doing right now. I hope that everything just goes smoothly and we have football, man. I'm really excited for it. So, Brian, I'm with you, dude. Whatever it has to be, even if we can't go to games, that sucks. I know you want to get to one. I know a lot of people, but as long as these guys are safe and we can at least have something, I'm sick of, playing games, watching simulations of video games. I'm doing everything I can, watching old games, highlights. I mean, everything I can possibly do. It was so nice to have a little bit of baseball, some basketball. So I've been trying to get by as much as I can, brother. But I am with you on that. I really, I want it back. But nice to see you, Brian. Thanks for tuning in, man. Just doing a little 53-man roster projection here. We're at the offensive line already, but a lot of versatile guys here. And guys that can play multiple positions. Like I said, Nate Irving was somebody I really struggled keeping off because I wanted to play him at, guard and center. But you look at someone like Isaac Sayamalu, if something happens to Jason Kelsey, he moves to center, and then maybe Pryor moves into left guard, maybe Driscoll. It doesn't, I don't know right now, and I don't want to put bad juju on anything, but, that's all scenarios that these guys are all very versatile. So it kind of makes it easier to put some of these guys on the practice squad or, something like that. So I see us keeping 9 because of one of those guys has to be an offensive lineman on game day when you bring them up from practice squad. So why not make it 10 on that? I mean, hell, if they go for 8, then you never know, man. But I think they're going to go with 9 here. So, I mean, that's what I got for the offense. I'm not going to make this a long drawn out 53-man roster projection. I'm just going to try to do this as quickly as I can. But if you guys have any questions or comments or anybody you see off of here that you thought maybe would make the team, I know running backs. It's tough to go with there. I mean, there's not much more I could say than what I said, this past week on Friday. The running back, we run a zone offense, and my fear is if something happens to Miles Sanders, that's why I wanted someone like Devontae Freeman, because then I feel more comfortable, because I don't feel comfortable with Boston Scott, Corey Clement, or Mike Warren, or any of these guys coming up from the practice squad. I'd like to see Adrian Killings get a little tougher and figure things out, but I don't know, man. It's going to be a tough competition. Elijah Holyfield, we traded for him. We could be stubborn and be like, hey, we traded, so we better keep him. But it really depends on what they show. Like I said, though, Mike Warren, I like the kid. And I think that he honestly can do a lot of things that would fit in this offense and things that we need. So just saying, man. But now we'll head on over to the defensive side of the ball. We got the defensive line. This is a tough one. I went with, Brandon Graham, obviously, and Derek Barnett are your starters. But then I went with 6 defensive ends here. Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, Josh Sweat, Jannard Avery, Sharif Miller. And this is a surprise one, I know. Joe Osman. They really liked him last year, and I thought that he definitely had a chance to make the team. So we'll see. We will definitely see. Banner, I don't know what you mean. Sorry, I was getting in the zone if I said something before that. My apologies. But Sharif Miller was redshirted all last year. I think that he's definitely making the team. Got to see what you got out of one of your draft picks. And Jannard Avery, you traded for him, 4th-round pick. Got to see something out of him. So I'm liking it, though, if they all really step up. But you got to, this is all grain of salt talk, right? It's like Brandon Graham, he's the one guy that you can rely on. After that, I am so sorry. This is a great call. We got a shout out here, and this thing's always on tap. We got to remember that. We got a nice call from my cousin Anth here. Nice little fish in the picture there. Yes, Dallas. Cowboys suck. We got to always remember that. Keep that in mind. That is something that we always try to relay here at On the Road to Victory. Cowboys suck. Always remember that, guys. That's your public service announcement for the day. Check it out at the bottom if you forget. Thanks for tuning in, cuz. But going through, kind of buzz through the offense there. If you guys want to talk about anything, I don't care. If you want me to show you any of the graphics or tell you what I had from the previous part of the video, let me know. But, Joe Osman was one that I just snuck on there because I like the kid. And, maybe Casey Toohill comes out of nowhere here, but I doubt that. He'll probably be on the practice squad. But you want to have a fresh, healthy rotation here. I'm going to be honest with you. I'd love for Joe Osman to say Everson Griffin. That would, and put him near the top there under Derek Barnett and just have that rotation just because you know how stubborn they are. They go, Derek Barnett's still the starter, and he would lose his job within a week or two. But, we can, we make him happy. I'll make the graphic. I'll even put him under there, make him happy. But that would make me happy. So, Anth, I know what you're about to say, a defensive end, because you always say it. Vinny Curry. We love our WWF man himself, Vinny Curry. It's a family favorite. I wouldn't mind having him back. There's a lot of defensive ends that we have talked about bringing in. I know that people want to talk about Jadeveon Clowney. I really don't like him. I think he would need to be paid a lot more than what I want, because we talk about that money rolling over next year. Much cap as we have left over, it goes over next year. We're going to be over $70 million negative in cap space next year. So, yeah, that's right. They added 20 mil more. So let's try to not spend too much. I wouldn't mind one of those guys, and we talk about people like Freeman, Everson Griffin, stuff like that. There's definitely positions. The next position we're going to get to, clearly, not D-tackle, but linebacker when we get to it. I'll talk about that. But you see here at D-tackle, I think we keep 4 here. Now, maybe 5. I thought about maybe putting a 5th D-tackle instead of a 5th or a 6th, I apologize, defensive end, keeping 5 and 5. And then I thought about keeping 11 and just adding the 5th one. I was like, they have been known to keep 11. But I went with 10 here. I figure this 4-man rotation, if they stay healthy, but that's the problem. 3 of those guys, I apologize, Fletcher Cox, Malik Jackson, Hassan Ridgeway, all dealt with injuries. So a little scary, but keep someone like Raekwon Williams, Rush or Hector on the practice squad, maybe one of those guys. But I think right there, if those 4 defensive tackles you see there on the right side there, whoo-wee, yeah, that's amazing. Who are you going to double team? And then that opens things up for your edge rushers here. So maybe you don't have to bring in a guy like Everson Griffin, but, if Josh Sweat turns into the guy we all hope he'll be, I thought he was producing pretty damn well at the end of the year. So, screw Clowney. I'd love to see him go all out. So we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, I had us keeping 10 defensive linemen. This was very intriguing to do because there's definitely some positions where I was like, maybe we'd keep, more here, more there. And it's like, well, when you take one away from here, where are you going to it's, how it goes. And obviously I haven't even seen these guys. So this was just something that we did for the show Friday. And I thought, well, why not? For anybody that didn't tune in, we'll do a little something where, I'm actually producing the show and I can see all the questions and bring them my way and throw my graphics up here and everything. I know you guys love those so much. But this is also for my YouTube as well. Thank you for everyone that's watching on YouTube. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate all of you. But we're looking at linebackers here. Now, this is the most questionable position, obviously, that we're looking at here. Nate Gary and TJ Edwards. They're yin and yang. Nate Gary, great in coverage, couldn't tackle to save his life. But he had that injury, so it's like, oh, well, maybe that was whatever, dude. I don't want excuses. Figure it out. TJ Edwards, tackling machine. Love the kid. So happy for him. Got to get better in coverage. So questionable there. Davian Taylor. A little bit of a reach, but I love what I see on tape, and I hope he learns really fast. But I don't think you're going to depend on him right away. But you're going to, see him in special teams, and he's really going to help out. He's going to really he's all over the place, and I think he could eventually, help out as a nickel linebacker. That is what we need. If Gary and Davian Taylor can hold it down, that's great. But you hear me talk about all the time, the safeties will be helping out in these sub packages. So don't put too much stock into you have to have all these linebackers. Now, trust me, I'd love to just have a great linebacker, and we talk about bringing Nigel Bradham back, talk about guys like Deron Lee, Mark Barron out there. Brian says here, loves Nate Gary. Yeah, me too, man. And I hope that he gets better at tackling. So figure that out, Nate. But, it's a very questionable room. Gentavus Brown, he started games all 3 years of his career at, San Diego. Well, you're going to call it L.A. now, Chargers. But that doesn't really mean much. But he's a guy that can play in the nickel for us, I feel, and could help us out in coverage. Duke Riley is a guy that helped in special teams, so that's where I had him. I struggle with Alex Singleton. I like him. A guy like him and Dante Olson, I think, will find themselves on the practice squad. Sean Bradley as well. Don't be surprised if Sean Bradley actually, really balls out, maybe beats out Duke Riley or Jatavis Brown. I think the guys on the left are more of your locks. Guys on the right are more of your question mark. But, I had us keeping 5 linebackers. And, I don't think we keep 6. Some years we've been known to, keep 6, but I don't think that's this year. I think we have some other question marks at places. So we'll see. Man, I'll tell you what, Darius Slade posts all the time. Anyways, so yeah, 5 linebackers. I don't know. I would love to have Nigel Bradham back though, right? I mean, I think I've heard that all over the place, and that's something we've talked about for a while. He made a tweet the other day like, "Hey, everything comes back," and I was like, "Good," but I mean, it didn't mean anything. But you always got to look into these things, and I did. I asked some questions around. I asked around, but yeah, there was nothing going on there. So I'd love to have him back though, but if not, they're relying on the young guys. We talk about the cap space. We talk about, we need to see what these young guys got. We got to see what we invested these picks in. So let's not just overthink this and, you got to have these guys and this guy. We talk about the abilities of Kavon Wallace, Will Parks, Jalen Mills, Ronnie McLeod, all these guys, playing in sub packages, the way that we will be able to line up with Nickel Roby-Coleman, Kravon Leblanc, Avonte Maddox, playing these jokers and all these crazy roles you're going to see for all your safeties, linebackers, corners. Davian Taylor, he can play like a safety kind of role. It's what you want to see on this offense and defense. And I love this team, and I'm excited for Jim Schwartz to finally have some pieces on this defense. And I think that, looking at this right here, yeah, sure, it might be scary, but hey, maybe TJ Edwards got really good in coverage, and Gary got a lot better in tackling. I know they haven't been tackling anything, so how do you do that? But maybe he got healthy. So let's just hope for the best here, and maybe they bring someone back. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I had 5 for those guys there. Linebacker core. Then I had, obviously, we'll just get this over with. You guys know who our special teams are. We have Jake Elliott, Cam Johnson, and Rick Lovato, right? Bing, bang, boom. Those guys, reliable. Jake Elliott, sometimes not so much. I hope he's working on some things. I love the kid, though, so hope the best there. But I like where we're at with our special teams unit. Can't complain there. Then the secondary, this was intriguing for me because I didn't know if I wanted to go take away from certain positions, blah, 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 blah. But I ended up keeping 6 corners and 4 safeties. Now, I struggled with keeping a 5th safety. But then as I looked at things, we talk about the versatility of some of these players. Avonte Maddox can play safety. I know everybody wants Rasul Douglas to play safety. I don't, they just don't like him there. Maybe he could help out there. Kravon LeBlanc can help out with tight ends, running backs. The same with Nickel Roby-Coleman. These guys are going to be all about matchups. And if you would keep those 6 right there, and you also talk about special teams. Rasul Douglas was a weapon on special teams. They used him a lot. So I think he could still make the team, and at such a cheap price for him to restructure, at like $850,000, that's weird on your rookie contract. But I think that he could definitely make the team. But if not, you could maybe see someone like Ford. I don't think it's Epps. There's guys like Grayland Arnold you've heard a lot of people talk about. He's a guy that can play corner and safety. The same goes for that Elijah Riley kid. And I just don't. I think they like Arnold more than they like Elijah Riley or some of these other guys, like Prince Smith. They're kind of just defensive backs. I think those guys will end up on the practice squad. I think those 4 safeties right there will hold it down. And I will be very excited about those safeties right there. It sucks when you lose Malcolm Jenkins. And people ask the question all the time, like, how do you replace that? Well, right there. Obviously McLeod's back, but you replace it by moving Jalen Mills where he should have been. And then Will Parks and Kavon Wallace. And I love those additions. So I'm pumped. I think Jim has got the right guys there to play off receivers on 3rd down like he's been. No, I don't think he necessarily wanted to play off like that, though. Brian, very good question. I think Jim Schwartz had to play a lot of defense that he didn't want to, a lot of players that he didn't want to, and it was just, a complete crap show, we'll say. Corey Unlin was terrible with the defensive backs. I mean, things were very bad, right? I can't stand this Wings of Destiny in my hair. Yeah, but I think Jim Schwartz finally has the weapons that he needs, the tools that he needs to show people what kind of defensive coordinator he is. And this defense is going to eat. And, it starts with the front 4, man, and getting that pass rush. And I think you're going to see it. The addition of Javon Hargrave is huge. And, if the edge rushers step it up, dude, if we feast and you have someone like Darius Slay outside, you add Nickel Roby-Coleman, one of the best, if not the best, nickel corners in the game. Now, who's going to be number 2? I think Sidney Jones should finally show us, why he should have been in the top 10, top 15 pick. Fell to us because of an Achilles tear. Hey, let's hope that this kid finally pans out to be that number 2 that we were hoping he would be. And then you look at Kravon LeBlanc competing with Nickel Roby-Coleman. You look at Rasul Douglas, we talked about, cheap, but he provides, and he also provides, special teams depth. If he would ever pan out or provide depth at safety or, be that tall corner that we need him to be, I would be very, very excited about that. But that we'll see what he's got. He's been working with the Footwork King on Twitter. Check him out. He works with Des Bryant, Darius Slay, all kinds of guys. I'm excited. So I think that he is going to win a job, but I think Jim Schwartz is going to have a good time, very good time, because it's not just Malcolm Jenkins, right? People are, oh, that sucks, but it's like you've got multiple guys that you are going to see multiple safeties, not just 2, 3 on the field at the same time. We talk about it for months, talk about it after the draft. This was huge, and I'm very, very excited about this. Given the pieces, he has proved he can run a top 5 defense. Oh, yeah. And he even tried to do things with, the Lions there. So, I mean, he did great with Buffalo, Bradham, and all them. I think that McKeldin, I think that Jim Schwartz is going to finally be recognized as such a great coach that he's going to earn himself a head coaching job. And I've talked about this in past videos. I think this defense is finally going to be damn good because you have number 1. That right there is going to help everyone. That's not just going to help the other corners get better, some of these younger guys that need to learn from a veteran like him, but the receivers are going to get better. Everybody's going to get better. Everybody. Carson Wentz going against Darius Slay in, practice every day. It's going to make everybody better. So I think Jim Schwartz is going to – I get excited at every video, and I'm sorry if I don't have that excitement right now, but I'm telling you, it is very exciting to see this defense on paper, and I know it's just on paper, but – these guys stay healthy, I really think that people are doubting them, and it's hilarious. All the little weirdo 100 lists and NFL, ESPN, everybody, PFF, they all come up with these. That's wonderful. That's great. You just drive our players to get pissed off and keep coming. So I'm all about it. But yeah, you look at that secondary there. I'm pretty pumped. I think right there. If Sidney Jones pans out, you really can use guys like Maddox, LeBlanc, and Douglas, like I said, in so many different ways. And then Parks and Wallace, you're going to see the same way, man. This versatility has me excited, man. I am pumped about the offense and the defense. So I just wanted to do a little quick rundown of it. If you missed the show Friday, that's what we talked about. So I just wanted to kind of breeze through that. Almost kept it under a half hour. But yeah, if you guys have any kind of questions or comments or anything else you want to talk about, I'm still here. But I won't drag it out or anything like that. I just thought I'd hop on and let it be known where my head's at right now. I wanted to see where some of your guys' heads were at. So thanks for tuning in, Brian and Anth, and Tim as well. Let's not forget Tim. Congratulations again, baby, on the way. Little Eagles, baby. On the way. You got to be pumped about that. But I'm pumped about football coming back tomorrow. So be ready. I'll be posting every single thing I possibly can, man. Can I run the receivers back? I can definitely do that for you. Pop in here. Oh, my God. I should show you how small this. First click, I found it. All right. So we got here. I have Alshon Jeffrey. This is something I know you guys are probably sick of seeing. I actually just deleted it the other day in my banners because I was like, all right, I'm getting rid of this. But it's a question we ask all the time. Is Alshon Jeffrey going to start off on the PUP list, right? So it's old today. When Doug was asked about it, he was kind of vague, like, oh, he's doing extremely well. I'm very excited with where he's at. But it's like, okay, well, is he running? What's it? But they said a couple weeks ago he was going to be running soon. Running doesn't mean anything. Deshaun Jackson was running last year. Wonderful. So I think the right move here is put him on the PUP list to start the year. give a guy like John Hightower a chance to make the team. Also, a guy like Greg Ward or Quez Watkins. That was where I struggled putting either Greg Ward or Quez Watkins there. I think Greg Ward has earned it, but you never know, man. The Eagles are a little ridiculous. But it really depends on how this practice squad turns out. So I want to see the rules there and how they make it, if we can lock certain guys. So maybe if we're able to do that, we could add Quez Watkins there and not worry about it. But you got to worry about losing a really fast guy like that you use, and I know it wasn't a high draft pick, but I think they have high hopes for these younger guys. But I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, these guys are going to be the next Sean Jackson or, Hightower. Obviously, I talked about being 6'2". I think it'd be awesome if this fast dude could turn into our X receiver. You know what I mean? You never know. And I'm not saying that like, dear God, please don't quote me on saying that. I'm just saying, you hope for a bigger guy like that. Yeah, this team needs that, especially if a guy like Alshon's hurt. So if Alshon's hurt, you then look at, a guy like him. But Arcega-Whiteside's the guy I think that's going to take over there. You guys know that. I think that Aaron Moorhead being here as a new wide receivers coach is going to fare very well for him and all the other receivers. Obviously, Jalen Reagor was your first-round pick. Cannot wait to see him. Deshaun Jackson, hopefully he stays healthy. And then same goes for Marquise Goodwin. But the battle at the end would be Greg Ward, Hightower, Watkins. And you've got a couple other guys I think we'll see probably cut by tomorrow. Whether that's Rob Davis, Deontay Burnett. But, we talk about and also that Menasha Bailey, an undrafted kid. There's a couple positions that, have a log jam. There's 11 receivers. We have definitely some places where you understand why they let some of these guys go. So 2 more have to be gone by tomorrow. So, man, that kind of sucks that they waited this long. So those guys are like, this is great. Like, imagine showing up to the facility like, I'm going to get tested. They're like, why don't you just head on back? I'd hope they'd call them, but that still would suck to be up all night. I mean, I know they got to go through that stuff, but you didn't even get a chance to show, anything. Imagine just like, please don't call me. Just like, not answering. But, yeah, so that's what I see happening with the receiver position. That's something I've been talking about for a while. Alshon, I just think he starts off on the pup list. Give him one of these guys a chance. And, I mean, honestly, I'll be real with you. If he's healthy, play the man, let him play, because I would love to see this offense with Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, Jalen Reagor. I mean, come on, guys. Like that. Let's not forget what these guys look like. Marquise Goodwin, if he's healthy, the dude has Olympic track speed. Like, what? So, yeah, I'm pumped about that list. I know a lot of people have already given up on Arcega-Whiteside, but I think, like I said, with, Aaron Moorhead there and a guy I like in Matthew Harper moving up the ranks as an assistant receiver coach, I think they're really going to help these guys. So I'm pumped about the receiver position that we finally added speed. I know they need to catch the ball, though. We dealt with Aguilar dropping the ball. We dealt with everybody. Jordan Matthews was back. Hey-oh. So we're going to hope that, Jalen Reagor, you guys know how I feel about him. I'm not worried about him, but the other guys, we got to see what they've got. And pretty much the veterans just stay healthy. So that's how I feel about that. The backfield, I can definitely hit that back up for you. You probably missed the quarterbacks, but I'm sure you figured out that it's Wentz, Hurts, and Sudfeld. That's not really that's not a debate there. I don't think Lauletta will be on the practice squad, but sorry, I had to scroll through there. Can't see anything. But Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Corey Clement, Mike Warren. I have Mike Warren there because I don't know. I think that he gives you everything. And so maybe he actually replaces Corey Clement. And I don't think Adrian Killings is going to have enough time to prove himself. But if that kid could play in this offense and really pan out to be something, I really don't feel you've had enough time. You've had time to see Elijah Holyfield a little bit more. So maybe he beats out Mike Warren. I don't know. I struggle with this one. I did, but I really like that Mike Warren kid. You guys know when We picked him up as an undrafted free agent. That was the guy I was like, all right, keep your eye. That's one I think that should make the team. But now we don't have any preseason. I can't really tell you anything. I'm just kind of hopeful. So, I mean, what I saw in college, obviously, I talked about he can catch the ball. He runs the ball. He's a little bruiser. I've seen so many different things, 5'9", 5'10", 5'11". It's like, okay, so we'll give him 5'10". He's around 220, a little bowling ball, man, but he can catch. So I think he's perfect for this offense, and I think he would complement these other backs. We just got to hope everyone stays healthy. Talked about the fact that I think that we should add someone like Devontae Freeman. I think not only would that, maybe he'd be pissed at first with the limited snap count, but nobody's bringing you in to be a starter, dude. So accept your role. And God forbid something happens to Miles Sanders, then you have yourself a back that can carry the load. And then I feel more comfortable with a committee, So if you could put Freeman in there for Clement or Mike Warren, I think you could definitely take him out for Mike Warren. I think people sleep on the fact that Devontae Freeman is a bruising back. He's not a bruiser back, but, he can definitely pound the rock in between the tackles. I think people sleep on that. And gets a lot of yards after contact. And I think, that was a lot of Kyle Shanahan's offense, but let's also look at the fact that this offense added Rich Scangarello to help out Doug Peterson. So that's a guy that used to run with Kyle Shanahan. So kind of the same mindset. We talked about him helping in the run game. Marty Morningwin come back, adding bright minds to the coaching staff to help this run game, to utilize the run more at the right time. I think that if these guys stay healthy, you've got yourself some nice backs right here that you could run your zone scheme, that can catch, can do all of it. All of them can. So I think you could get away with it. And, you know that they love running Carson Wentz with that damn quarterback sneak. But Mike Warren could help carry the load there. We won the Super Bowl with Jay Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount. So I know, maybe we don't need necessarily a power back, but I think Mike Warren would fill that role. So that's just kind of where I was at with that. And then tight ends, man, that was not necessarily easy, because I talked about how, in prior years we've kept 2 tight ends. And now with this new thing going on this year where you can add 2 guys from the practice squad, that maybe we would only keep 2. But I went with us keeping Perkins. And I know that it's a guy kid. He's intriguing, athletic kid, but I think he'll end up with the practice squad. Maybe he could take his spot at some point, the revolving door on that tight end position. Hopefully we don't have to play that game. Ertz and Goddard stay healthy, and, Perkins comes in and he can play that receiving role as well. And I'm excited about in pretty much every position. I just, the only things that I've really been harping on for pretty much months is the fact that I would feel comfortable with someone like Devontae Freeman. I know that Jalen Mills is talking to LaShawn McCoy on Twitter, and I just feel that LaShawn McCoy is the same back that you have in Miles Sanders. So maybe if he goes down, that's a good thing. I just don't know if you rely on him to carry load. I think I'd feel more comfortable, but they talk about he actually has been more versatile than Devontae Freeman. So you kind of have to weigh things out. You just kind of hope that Miles stays healthy. And then this committee just runs smoothly. But I missed Jordan Howard. I think that would have been, something that I was really, really excited about. But it is what it is. What about the back from Georgia? I think he'll go to the practice squad. I'm hopeful that, we keep 2 backs in Holyfield and Killings if it goes down the way that I have here. But, man, someone could take him. And that's one of the things I talk about on Friday. We're the kind of team that we're real stubborn, right? So we traded for him. So maybe we're like, screw the undrafted kid in Mike Warren. And if there's one of those things like I talked about, you could lock a guy, or I don't know. Hopefully we'll get some more for sure details on that. But, that would be nice if we could, because this is a different time. So maybe they'll allow us to do that. But yeah, it's either Warren or Holyfield you have there. And I obviously, he's Evander Holyfield's son. That's awesome. But he didn't show much to even get on the squad, but he only had limited time here. So but there was injuries. So you expect, I don't know. I really don't. I just, in my head right now, I'm just going with Mike Warren, because he can catch the ball. He can do more from what I saw at Georgia. But, at Georgia, actually, Holyfield was splitting time with DeAndre Swift, I believe. So but they both had 1,000-yard running season at the same year, so that's pretty impressive. But I just don't, he had a great rushing season then, and then next year was, and now, I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, Swift got a lot better. I think Holyfield didn't pan out, and obviously they have Christian McCaffrey, but he didn't find a role there. But hey, we got him. But I'd like to see Mike Warren. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Look at his numbers, man. I think he had like 26 touchdowns. Like the 1 year he had like 15 catches. It was something, like 15 rushing, 10, something insane. But he had a lot of touchdowns, and his career he had like 26 of them. So it's the kid finds the end zone. He's a bruiser. He can catch the ball. He can do it all. I think that I'd like to see how he pass protects, but that's the lack of preseason that pisses me off. I want a bruiser. We should have Gary Blunt. You know it, Gary. Good old LeGary. Yeah, I miss Gare. I do. It's my dude. It's a little inside joke there, guys. But Gare is my man. And I jumped through the roof when we got him. And then when we had Jay Ajayi, once again, I was like, oh, we're winning this damn thing. And when Carson went down, it was like, all right, dude, just let's go. So, yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm with you. I got Traver here. I want to see he's a big boy. Yeah, I want to see what Holyfield's got. I want to see what Mike Warren's got. I want to see what all these guys got. I want to see if Clement's healthy. I'm very intrigued by Adrian Killings Jr., too. The kid out of Central Florida, little guy, but fast as hell. I think he could be very versatile, used all over the place, return game, so if he bulks up a little, I don't know what he's been doing in quarantine. I'm not trying to knock the guy. I'm just saying, from where my head's at, I think, some of these other guys like Corey Clement knows, this is hurting the younger guys not having an off season. So that's some of the reason that I have a guy like Corey Clement over them. And they brought him back. They didn't restructure him. They got him and brought him back. He signed a much cheaper deal, and that's kind of intriguing for a guy that has proven he can do something in this offense. And, we love the guy. He won a Super Bowl with us, man. And an undrafted kid, it's exciting. But, hey, if there's another diamond in the rough, in Mike Warren or Killings, then hell yeah. And I'm telling you, that Killings kid, man, they're trying to be like the Chiefs of these. You know what I mean? They literally want to add speed. And we did that. And, we talked about Jalen Reagor being the Tyreek Hill of this offense. I'm not comparing him to Tyreek Hill. I'm just saying that's what he is to our offense. And, adding more weapons, dude, that's what we're trying to do. And I think that if he sits on the practice squad and could really pan out, man, oh, man. There could be a lot of fun things going on with old Doug because, like we talked about, brought in more coaches to make this a more exciting offense, right? So, man, I'm about to jump through a roof just thinking about the fact that football comes back tomorrow. I know it's training camp, and they're saying they're not going to do much, just walk through stuff, talk about stuff, blah, blah, blah. Sure, more people get tested, whatever. Well, they have to get tested every day, but, they'll do whatever they have to do. But I'm excited about it. I'm sure they'll have press conferences. I'm going to be following everybody I can. Hopefully they do some live press conferences so I can just do my own thing. And, I'll try to hit you guys with as much possible news as I can. But, yeah, I went over every position. If there's any positions that you guys missed that you want to talk about, anything you're curious about, let me know. I can try to take this bad boy to an hour. So that gives us 11 minutes right there on the dot. That's Carson Wentz. Love that. Dude, I'm weirdo with numbers, so I always incorporate every number with a football player. It's ridiculous. But, yeah, if you got anything, I went through every single position. So I'm excited about this team. How you doing, Sabrina? We're going through the Eagles 53-man roster projection. Just pretty much went through everything I thought from a paper standpoint. Now, like I said, every time I make any of these videos, you take everything with a grain of salt because we haven't even seen these guys, and everything you've watched on tape means absolutely nothing, And we talked about earlier today that, oh, well, this guy played against this competition. It was this, you put everything in the context, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't, because now you're playing with the big boys. So let's see what they've got. I don't care if Mike Warren was catching in NCAA against the scrubs. I want to, in Cincinnati, I want to see him, not saying the scrubs, but I want to see what he does, in the NFL. When you see some of these linebackers coming at you, or safeties, Jamal Adams of the Seahawks. That was something that people talked about, a lot with me. And I was like, look, the Eagles are not going to give up a lot, of ransom that they're going to be asking. And I did not know it was going to be that much. 2 first-round picks, a 4th-round pick, their starting safety. Bradley McDougall is actually a pretty good safety. So you're looking at a pretty damn good haul for the Jets, a pretty good future, which they need because they need to build around their quarterback and the things they have. They brought Le'Veon Bell in. Obviously, he's pissed now. Everybody's pissed. Wonderful. Well, now the Seahawks just got better. Son of a... Not good. But whatever, man. Now that Carson Wentz has weapons, I think it's time to spank them. They have had our number. Doug Peterson cannot beat them. I think, he hasn't beaten them, so we need to come out strong against them this year. We need to beat them. We're going to play some damn tough teams, man. The Saints, there's some sleeper ones in there. The Cardinals, we play the Steelers, Ravens. Obviously, the Cowboys are going to be a challenge. Every, team in the division, the Giants. Oh, wait, the Washington football team. What a creative name. Great job, guys. I got to applaud you for coming up with such a creative name after 10 days. Don't know how you do it. You guys are just really good at things, I guess. But yeah, it's going to be a challenging year. So good for the Seahawks, but dude, people are like, oh, the Eagles failed. That's it. They're done. That's it. Those people always make me laugh when I get notification and I see something. I'm like, what? What's happening? It's just like, it's over. I knew it. We should have traded McLeod, Cox. It's just like, whoa. Like, let's back up a sec. Let's try to think these things through. And no. So, yeah, I just didn't see that happening. But, yeah, I guess both teams kind of win. I mean, they're trying to win now, man. And Russell Wilson, obviously, he's a damn good quarterback. But, they've been adding some weapons around him. It's going to be a very intriguing team. They're definitely going to challenge us. We're going to have a lot of challenges. I'm pumped about it, man. Where are we in terms of strength of schedule? Now, that's a good question because I saw one that was like, oh, we're 4th to last. And then there was one like, oh, they have one of the 10th easiest. Oh, and I was like, wait, what? And, dude, I'm telling you, because it's like PFF ranks this by, it's like, well, how much Jergens did they use last week when they're, and it's like, I don't know where they're going off this. And what's hilarious to me is it's like every single one of these teams has changed. Like, they're completely different from what they look like last year. Like, I really don't care what, and the fact that it's so hard for teams to even get back to the, Super Bowl or playoffs, things like that, where I don't really, that I love, talking numbers and putting numbers, but we always say it's to help put things into context. You never take numbers at their, face value that, you see that number right there. That's why. And it's like, don't think that you need to put all your chips on that one. But strengths of schedule, man, I think that we look like it's going to be hard as hell. We start off against the Washington football team, and then we have the Bengals and Rams, and then you got tough games. You got the Niners in there. You got the Steelers and Ravens. It's Giants and Cowboys there, and then you have a bye. And then that last stretch, dude, you have the Packers, Saints, Cardinals. Got to go to Lambeau. I mean, we've won there. I don't know. We won there last year. It's wonderful. Yeah, let's beat them. Let's try to beat. It's going to be a tough one. We talk about if we stay healthy, we could win 11, 12 games. But, if we win 10, I wouldn't be mad at them because there are some very, very tough games on this schedule. So, how many wins am I thinking? I was just saying it. See, I think it'd be 11. I don't want to be a downer, though. I think that this team could definitely be dominant. I don't think that it's a team where, it's out of the water that they couldn't, win some of these games where you look at like, oh, they're going to lose to the Ravens. They could lose. This is the NFL. So I'm just saying that, you know, with a tough schedule like that, you know, if you look at it, you know, there's some tough trips there. So maybe you take some losses, and that's perfectly fine in the NFL. But this team could surprise some people, man. And, you know, if you remember 2017, we do what Carson Wentz was doing. Everybody forgets, but I think this defense is better. This offense is going to be better. Obviously, Brandon Brooks was a huge blow, but we're hoping for JP to come in, fill that void in between Lane Johnson and Jason Kelce, help him out. And I'm hoping things I just work out there. But, you know, I'm confident in this team, and I think that, you know, Carson Wentz could be the MVP if, you know, everyone around him stays healthy, and he could light it up. It's going to be hard in fantasy football because, you know, the tight ends are going to eat, and that's going to open up the wide receivers. Wide receivers are going to eat the speed, taking it off the top. It's going to open up for the guys down low. And dude, it's going to be awesome. And then the run game, you know, so I'm very excited about this. Intrigued to see how JP does in the run game, but he's a tough dude. Want to see how he does with his footwork, but he's going to have to work on that, and we'll see. I'm pumped up though. But yeah, I could see us winning 11, man, for sure. That's a number that I like, and I'd be happy with it. I think that would win this division. It's going to be a tough division. You know, that was my actual poll question for Friday's show. Agree or disagree? I had the Eagles will win the NFC East, and I think that's, you know, not something that's just set in stone. Like, oh yeah, and obviously I love my Birds, so I'm going to pick them over the Cowboys. But I'm not going to try to sit here and be a homer. I'm going to be a realist. But the Cowboys got better, right? You know, they added CeeDee Lamb. It's like, oh, dear Lord, Trevon Diggs. It's like, oh, okay, that Bradley and I really liked. Defensive end they added. You know, they got better. They did. But I'm going to be real with you. We got better too. And we beat their ass when we were beaten and broken last year. We were battered, bruised, and we had the garbage pail kids at wide receiver, and we still beat them. And to win the division, like, they had a chance. Like, you know, this is their year, man. This is their year. Let's fix this. Hold on one sec. This is their year. Yeah, we know, dude. Yeah, Cowboys suck. You do. But it's enjoyable when we beat you with that. Now you're going to find out what happens when we're healthy and we have Carson Wentz has weapons. So I'm excited about it. I can't stress it enough that I can't wait for even the little training camps, things that we have, you know, 48, 47 days away. It's like, oh my God, dude. If they just stay in their bubbles, everybody plays it smart, learn from what baseball's doing and basketball, everybody else, you know, whoever's making mistakes, you learn from all of it, whoever's doing it right. Do what you got to do, please. We're all losing our minds. But obviously, I want them first and foremost to stay safe. So whatever they got to do. But you hear from the players like Lane Johnson, and, you know, a lot of people just want to get out. You know, they're chomping at the bit too. So it'll bring some much needed sanity, I think, to this world. We've all been enjoying, you know, what's been happening at least the last couple of days until today. You know, baseball and basketball were back, so that made me very excited. But tomorrow, training camp, it's back. So I will be ecstatic, and I'll probably be up at 6 a.m. again tomorrow, waiting for a 10:30 damn press conference. But hopefully they've got some juicy stuff early, so we'll see. Yeah, fly, Eagles, fly. That's right. Jenna, thank you for tuning in. We're almost wrapping up here, but love if you went back through, checked out the video. We talked about the quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, all of it. Offense, defense. I would breeze through it. Went over what we talked about Friday. You know, what I see this team looking like as of right now. And if that were the team, I'd be pretty damn happy. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited about some of these competitions, but it's all going to be practice. You know, Doug talked earlier today that he's going to have to do a lot more scrimmaging, a lot more game-like situations because there's going to be no preseason. So you got to see what these guys got, but still, you're going against your own team. I know they're fighting for a job, but it's just different. So I'm very intrigued to see what happens. Everything's going to be intriguing. You know, Anth, you actually made a statement the other day, and, you know, like, oh, we're going to go in with no more injuries. You know, we just have Brandon Brooks right now, but it's like, yeah, that's true. We don't get any of those preseason injuries we all love, but we don't get any of that rust knocked off. So that scares the living hell out of me because I don't want to see any injuries. Like if we start off, like if it's not Corona, like if it's just people get injured, I'll just be like, okay, I'm just going to jump off this roof here and we'll be good to go. I can't. We've dealt with so many years of pain that I think that I'm done with it. I'll never be done with my birds. I'm just saying I'm done with the injuries, man. So they changed the medical staff. They did everything they could. Oh, please, God, just let it all work. Football's back tomorrow, though. So let's just be positive, be excited. Tune in tomorrow. I will keep you guys up to date with everything that's going on. Tomorrow night, I think around 7:30, I'll be on A2D Radio going on the show Birds of a Feather. So check it out. I have no idea. I didn't get the email yet. It might be in my email. I just got done doing what I had to do for this show, so I didn't get to check it yet. But I look forward to that. So we'll definitely be breaking some stuff down there. I look forward to hanging out with those guys. So if you can, tune in then. It'll be 7:30. But if not, throughout the day, I'm going to be keeping you guys up to date. I'm going to hop on at some point, and we'll talk about what's going on, what we see. We'll talk about the 2 guys that are let go tomorrow. So I can't imagine that it's over yet. Maybe it would happen, sometime here tonight. The night's not over. I'm just saying, we don't know. So I'll keep you guys up to date. But it's been an hour now. Can't thank you all enough for tuning in. For everybody that always tunes in, thank you so much. For those of you tuning in for the first time, I appreciate it. If you hit subscribe, I appreciate that. Like, all that good stuff. Whatever your heart desires. I try to go on as much as I possibly can, but now that sports are back, we'll be back all time. I'm so excited for tomorrow. I cannot wait to talk some birds with you guys. So I hope everyone is having a great night. If you need anything, always feel free to reach out. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow about everything going down. As always, cover!